My name is Christy Dunnies. If you've never had a class with me before, welcome. I'm very excited to work with you this morning. We also have Connie Nieto, another Miami instructor, who's going to be inside of the chat. So between both of us, our goal is to make you a little bit more comfortable with MLS Advantage. This is MLS Advantage and why you should be using it. So to get started, let's go ahead and go into miamirealtors.com, log in using the link up at the top. You would then scroll to the middle of your page and click on your Miami Gateway. This will give you access to your single sign-on page, your Miami Gateway, where you house all of your programs and services. Inside of our Miami Gateway, my first goal is to show you where can you access MLS Advantage. So you can access MLS Advantage through floridarealtors.com directly. You can go to that website and access MLS Advantage. Aside from that, since we are participating, we do have MLS Advantage on our single sign-on program. So you can access MLS Advantage right here at the bottom. Also, we have MLS Advantage linked to all of our listings inside of Matrix, right? So if I were to go and access Matrix and select a property, I'm going to go into my market watch. Okay. We do have each of our listings linked to MLS Advantage. So MLS Advantage, what is it? It's actually a statewide cooperative, right? It's an agreement of data and sharing of data. All of the listings of the participating MLS boards in this program are going to be available in MLS Advantage. But at the same time, some MLS boards are not participating. We are participating. There's quite a lot of them. It's statewide, right? So it's the state of Florida. So you are able to market that property, or you're immediately marketing your property and syndicating your listings to MLS Advantage, giving access to other Florida realtors outside of your service area, which is fantastic. Aside from that, some MLS boards are not participating. You don't have all of the bells and whistles, right? So you're going to have some of them, but you're not going to have everything that's offered in the MLS, which is okay. In MLS Advantage, what you will have is what you should be using for it being a cooperative agreement. If you can't use it, it's because they prefer you didn't, right? So it's formed in a way where it's better for us. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the MLS number. I want to show you how our properties are showing inside of MLS Advantage. While I do that, you guys can go ahead and click on either the MLS Advantage icon, go through Matrix, or if you'd like, you can click on your MLS icon at the bottom to access MLS Advantage. This is the MLS Advantage screen, right? This is what we have available for us. We can search, we can create reports, we can add customers, right? If we have any listings, they will appear. We can create a CMA. If you'd like help, we have it available for you here. Additional training. They're very big with feedback. So as you use MLS Advantage, as you go through it, they do welcome feedback. You can go ahead and click on here, put in your first and last name, should already be inputted. You can select the topic, right? And you can give them feedback. They will read it, they will respond, and they do put it into consideration. They want to know our experience as realtors. Aside from that, moving down, there's different tabs that we have on this page. We have our field searches, our map searches, our hot sheets, and our saved searches. So I want to kind of take you through all of the different aspects of your page to get started, which is a great way to get started in all programs, is start customizing. It's an easy way to kind of jump into a program and get familiar with it. How we do that is we would click on account. We're also going to do this because any of our reports are going to syndicate this information. So we're going to click on upload a new photo. So you can input or upload your agent information. Your office or your brokerage would have to upload their logo. But if you move down, you can verify that email address, go ahead and add your cell phone number. And you do have the option on the right-hand side. If you did not want to display your office contact information on your reports, you can uncheck it. Once you've uploaded that photo, you can click on Save Changes. Okay. My suggestion is take the class. These classes are recorded and available for you. And then after you've taken the class, you have like a good understanding of it, then I would go back in watch one of our recorded classes, and do everything at your own pace. We also have email defaults that are available for you. That means that you can go ahead and put or set up a default subject. So whenever emails are going to go out or reports are going to go out, you can input that default subject that you want to include in your messages. So for example, a default subject of an email is, okay, so for example, right, and then you would input maybe your email signature. If you were to input your email signature, we cannot add photos here. This would be text only, but you can go ahead and just copy paste the information right into your email signature so that can populate. Aside from that, you can add a default message if you'd like. And this is the default message that would be sent out with the link or with your reporting. And then you also have defaults for no matched messages, meaning we pull the report, right? And this is if we create an auto email, which I'm hoping to do today. We pulled the report, we sent out information, but at that time, nothing came up. So you can go ahead and put in those messages. So take the time, think it through, save your changes, and let's get to know MLS Advantage. I want to get started under search. So under search, under field search, I want to show you that our MLS listings and how they look inside of MLS Advantage. So I went ahead and I copied that MLS number from Matrix, and I'm going to paste it in here. Then I'm going to simply click on search. That's going to give us our property. And with each property that we have photos that we can preview, right? So you don't have to go inside. You can simply preview that property before looking at the detailed page. Let me exit out. And you also have the address available for you and a small summary of that property. You can add a report and you can also view details. So at this time, I'm going to view the details and see what information we have available. So you do have that initial information about the property. Aside from that, you have your property details, and it breaks it down between description, different features, and property information towards the bottom. The information that'll be available is depending on what the agent has inputted. So you also have your listing details, right? So you have your open house information. You also have your financial information available and the listing information as well. So inside of MLS Advantage, part of the cooperation is to include compensation. So my suggestion to you guys is keep your referrals tight. Make sure that you're working property that you are familiar with. So if you're used to working with property that is inner city, condos, residential, and all of a sudden you're looking for farmlands in the middle of Florida, you do want to make sure that you have experience to be able to service that customer, right? Or you can get in a little bit of trouble. So you always want to make sure to follow up with the Florida Legal Hotline regarding your referrals or regarding real estate or working real estate outside of your primary service area or your experience type of property. You also want to follow up with your brokerage as well. Regarding referrals, that's another way that you can use this system. You can use it for either searching for property and information for other customers, or you can use it to find somebody that you can refer a customer to, right? You always want to have your referrals signed by your brokerage, signed by their brokerage before you give over information regarding your customer. You also want to verify, so you have the phone number and email address for these agents, where you stand regarding commission, tax details. So here we'll have our tax details that are available for us, right? You have your current owner information, sales history, mortgage history that we can see, Liz pendants history if there was any tax assessments, building information if there was any, construction information, and other improved information. So we have all of this info that's available for us. Very cool how our listings show. But if you're working with a property that's outside of our service area, fantastic to be able to see all of that information. You also have map directions that are available. So you do have your map directions towards the bottom. They do have Google Maps. You can input an address. You can click get directions and you will get directions. They will be available for you. You can go ahead and print that if your customer is right in front of you. You can also email that information. I believe that they're working on being able to text this link to them directly, because what it is a link. So you can always email it to yourself, copy that link, and send it over. Very cool. I'm looking at it in the sense of we're already familiar with where Hollywood is, but if you're looking outside of our service area, that is something that they can use. Aside from that, we can go ahead and create reports, add to a report, create a report. So the difference is when I create a report, which we have multiple reports to view, I can either do one property at once, or I can go ahead and add it to a report. And that means I'm going to add multiple properties to a report that I'm going to send my customer. Aside from that, we're able to visualize or view a virtual tour. So if I click on virtual tour, we're all familiar with this type of tour. You have it available here in MLS Advantage. Okay, your next one is create a report. So I went ahead and I created a report on that one listing. You have available for you your customer reports and you have your licensee reports. The difference is your licensee reports are also going to include additional information you might not want to be sharing with your customer at this time, which is contact information with the listing agent. Now, you have different reports available for you. You have your summary reports, and it also includes information about what's associated with each listing, right? So this one is going to be very brief. It's going to have the first photo, and then it's going to give you the basic information. You also have longer ones that include photos, and maps. I like large pictures. I think customers also like large pictures. So one of my favorite ones is probably the customer detailed report plus large photos, and then also customer detailed report plus large photos and maps, only because if they're interested in another area, I want them to be able to see where that's located. You can email that report. You can also view or print that report. So let's view one. It's generating. Okay, view. And here's that report. It looks nice and professional. Your branding is going to be up at the top. You're going to have your name of that report. Your brokerage information is going to be on the right-hand side. And then it's going to give you the first picture, right, of that property with your additional details, the public remarks, those features that we were looking at. The second page is going to be those large photos. So they have nice large photos to review. And then that third page is where is that property located. So they have a full understanding of that, right? So that's one of the reports that you can do. I'm going to exit out of it. And my next goal is to go ahead and email that report. So I'm going to go ahead and click on email report. I can select my customer or input my customer to my customer. I can carbon copy. I can add my subject. You add your message. Okay, and you scroll to the bottom. You do have the option of sending yourself a carbon copy and then going ahead and sending it towards the bottom. So send email. Okay, and that's a way that you can go ahead and send those reports in a few easy steps and search inside of MLS Advantage. That is showing and highlighting how our listings are being previewed inside of MLS Advantage. Aside from that, I want to show you that you can also search by radius. So let's say you have a customer, she went up to Naples, the family fell in love with Naples. They said, I want to live by Naples Grand, by that hotel is my favorite. Please send me properties in that area. I'm really interested in living there. We don't normally have access to Naples properties inside of MLS, so I would go into MLS Advantage. I'm not very familiar with that territory. I know she wants to be by that hotel, so a great tool that we can use is to search by radius. So I went ahead, I Googled the hotel that she liked, Naples Grand Beach Resort. I'm going to go ahead and copy that address, go back into my MLS Advantage, press paste. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to take out the zip code, put it under zip, right? And then I'm going to create that distance. So I'm going to go out 3 miles. And then I'm going to name that search. So this search is going to be Christy Goes to Naples. And then I'm going to click Save and Search. Okay. Now that I've saved and I've searched, below I do have quite a lot of property. I can go ahead up at the top and I can sort that property, right, from high to low, low to high, based on square feet, bedrooms and baths, etc. So you can sort your details. You also can go ahead and see or change the number of properties you see per page. I also have the ability to click into my map results and preview that information that's already going to be highlighted for me inside of my map. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my list results. I prefer to view property that way. And then I'm going to add some of my additional criteria. I have 141 properties. So minimum bedrooms, 3. Baths, we're going to do 2. Her price point is 800,000. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on search. I'm going to view what I have available, right? So I do have 24 properties that would be available for her. If I'd like, I can go through the properties and I can preview the information in the same way that I showed you with our own listing. I can click on the photos, right? I can click on the address to view the details. And then I can decide which ones, you would view the details clicking on view details, or I can decide which ones I want to put inside of her report. So I can add this one to her report. I can add this one to her report, and I can go through the different properties and add which ones I prefer. Another way, let's say you wanted to add all 24 properties. Up at the top, you can see that the report queue has taken the 2 that I've added. I can simply click on add all to my report because I reviewed them. I think they're all perfect, and I want to send them over to her. Now that all 24 of those reports are inside my queue, I can go ahead and click on report queue. And it's going to show me all of the different properties that I've added right to my queue. So I can review them, make sure that whatever's in there is what I want to submit. And it is. And then I'm going to click on create a report. Okay, I would select the report. You guys know I like this one. So I'm going to go ahead and click email report. And in the same way, I'm going to send it over to my customer. Give it a subject. Give it a message, and then go ahead and send that email. Okay, so that's a really easy way that you can go ahead and pull information using the radius to be able to send out different reporting to your customer. Aside from being able to use the radius, I want to show you that you can use it based on a county search where you can search different counties, for example, and you can also search using different property types. So for my next example, I'm going to click on close now that that's been sent. I'm going to go back into my search. I'm going to move down the search, and I want to do it based on counties. So this is a great way also to see, which counties are participating where you have property available for you to search. I'm going to put in Duval, for example. Okay. And the cities in Duval that I want to look up, I want to look up Jacksonville. And if I'm in Jacksonville, I might as well just be looking up in Jacksonville Beach as well. My property type, I'm not interested in the single family. I want to look up multifamily homes, and I want to see the active ones. I want to see maybe the withdrawn ones and the expired ones and the terminated ones. Why? Because my customer is looking for property that's a multifamily home, and their price point is under 100,000. Okay, so they're looking for multifamily homes in Duval under 100,000, and I'm going to do a search. Let me name that search. I'm going to go ahead and name it Christy Invests in Duval. And then I'm going to save that search and search at the same time. Okay, and I have 17 properties. So these 17 properties, I do have the ability to go ahead and view them, see which ones I want to add. So I want to start with my active ones so I can see As I scroll through them, anything that's green is active, right? And it's also showing me that my queue is full, right? So I would come back into my queue. I can, of course, remove any of the properties that are currently in my queue so I can continue my search one by one, or I can click on remove all from queue. Remove all. Okay, and then I want to go back to my search. Okay, and here I am. And I want to add, now that my queue is empty, I want to go ahead and add those active ones. So add to my reporting. I saw another green one at the bottom, add to my reporting, and then just view some of them. I'm going to add them. She's going to make a decision on these. Okay, they all look pretty good. They're on the price point. I'm going to go back up and just add them all. Okay, so add all to my report. All 17 are in there. If I'd like, I can add additional parameters with the search, but since my price point is so low, I'm not going to. I'm going to simply click on report queue, create a report, and then I'm going to show her customer detailed report. So I'm going to click on view so we can look at another one. Okay, my report is ready. Let's view it. And here we go. This is just the first page, right? With the information regarding how many bedrooms and baths are in each and what each unit holds, right? With the remarks. So nice and sweet, very simple information about that list that she's interested in. I like the report. I'm going to go ahead and email that. My subject, I give it a message, paste, and I can go ahead and send that email. Okay, so there's multiple reports that you can do. There's multiple searches that you can do inside of MLS Advantage. So just to finish up that search, now that we're aware of how we can do it by ID, by address, by radius, by county, we can change the property types, include the price points. You can go ahead and just add additional information. They're not all separated. They all work together. I just wanted to show you different ideas of how you can use the system. But you also can search by the actual address, specific remarks, private or public remarks. You can scroll down and search by year built, lot size, acreage, block, sold date, etc. Towards the bottom, you can exclude listings from a particular MLS. So if you go ahead and check off or review these, you can decide, which ones you'd want to exclude your search from. I don't know why you would do that, but this is also great to use it the other way. Which MLSs are participating, right? And then you also have the ability to include features. So if there's this particular feature that you want to look at, you can click on add feature. You have more than 500 different features that are here. They're all categorized based on like their bigger topics. So regarding flooring, you have everything that you can choose, right? I suggest, especially in systems like this, less is more. You can also exclude a feature. So if there's something that your customer does not want at all, you can include it here. And then maybe this is the safest one, the possible feature of, she'd want it. So let's add it. But if it's not there, I'll still get a result. And then you have your big search bar at the bottom. This is your searching capabilities. Aside from being able to search inside of this system, I do want to show you that you do have your map search that's available for you. So inside of your map search, you do have the ability or the option to also name these searches, right? So you have them available here. You also can draw. So you can draw a circle, you could draw a rectangle, you could draw a polygon. And as I scroll down, I do have that map of Florida that I can use. So if I would like, I can go ahead and scroll or use the plus and minus to access an area. Let's say I'm interested in this little Clearwater area. I can then scroll back up, select my shape. I'm interested in the circle, scroll down, and then just kind of like create my radius in there. I can then go back up and input some additional information. So let's say I'm looking for single family homes that are max 3-bedroom with 2 baths. My price point is under 250,000. Here's my 250. I'm looking for active, maybe expired, and sold, right? And then I can go ahead, go back up and save and search. Okay, and then I have available for me my map view. So these little blue circles, these are like bundles of properties. So they're properties that are nice and close together that I can preview. We also have the actual area that I was interested in. And then towards the bottom, you do have that legend. Anything that's blue, that's your little cluster. Anything that you see that it's green, those are your active properties. Our red ones are sold properties. I can go ahead and scroll in a little closer to view more information. If you don't want to look at little pins on a map, you can always go into your list results up at the top and you can preview those properties. We are familiar with our queue, so you can of course select all of them, add them into your queue and send out that email. But that is the search on your map. Very cool. Going back into search. Our next tab is your hot sheets tab. So hot sheets are basically letting you know what kind of changes have recently happened on a property. So if I wanted to do a hot sheet in Key Largo, for example, I can input my city of Key Largo. I can add my zip code. So the system does help you where once I put in my city, it will provide zip codes for you. I can select my property type. So I'm going to select the single family active properties, and then I'm going to give myself some dates. So I'm going to go back a month. Let's start December, what day is today? 12. So December 12 to January 12. I can put a price point if I want. I'm not going to. I'm going to just click on search, and then I have that preview of my hot sheet. So you can see at the bottom the reasons why it's on that hot sheet. These are new listings, okay, or a price change, right? So it'll give you that information, and that's how you can pull different hot sheets. Of course, you can queue this information as well. You can also create a report out of it. Anything that you see on your hot sheet, you can also have that visual of looking at it in the map. So going back into my search tabs, now that we're familiar with quite a lot of it, I want to go into my saved searches. So as you can see, I have been saving my searches. So Christy went to Naples. She wants to invest in Duval, and she's interested in MAP. So I have these all available for you, and these saved searches, that's why I did it that way, is because now we have the ability to go ahead and copy the search to pull it over or do it again. We have the option to delete it. We can edit that search. We can rerun it. We can also set up an auto email. So she wants to go to Naples, and I want to set up an auto email for her. Let's learn how to do that now. I'm going to click on set auto email. Okay, I can go ahead and select my customer who's already in the system. If I have not inputted my customer in the system, that's okay. We can always add one clicking on new customer. We're going to finish up the class with information regarding your contacts. You do have to enable the information. So click on enable, right, to enable that reporting. You can go ahead and decide if you want to carbon copy someone, if you want to carbon copy yourself, if you want to blind carbon copy, you have that available as well. You can give it a subject. So Naples homes for you and family. And then I want to go ahead and add a message, paste. If there's no matches are available at this time. This time, would you like to update your criteria? You know, please call me, etc. Then you can always input or add those signatures, right? So you can include your signature if you've gone ahead and added that signature in the beginning. If If you have not, then you can copy and paste it in there. You can also include price changes. If you include price changes, the property will be resent to her or your customer. They just will have that information updated with a price change. You can also send an email if there's no listings that matched her search. So normally an email won't be sent out, but if she's used to getting that email, here's the frequency, on a daily basis and she didn't get it, you can let her know that if there's no matches, there's no email, but you can also include to send her over that message that there's no criteria at this time, no new properties at this time. You can send it daily, weekly, or monthly. So I'm going to do weekly. And then I can expire my auto email in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months. And then I'm going to save. But before I save, I can also send myself a copy by selecting copy me in the email and then save. And we did it. We set up an auto email, right? If I wanted to rerun the search, so let's say I want to rerun a search, I can. I'm going to click on run a search. And I have privy to all of these properties. And let's say that the customer is interested in putting in an offer. MLS Advantage is a program with Florida Realtor. So Florida Realtor also houses Form Simplicity. So something pretty cool that we can do is we can link our listings that we're previewing out of our service area inside of MLS Advantage directly into Form Simplicity, right? So you can go ahead and view details. And you see here where it says write contract. I can click write contract and all of my information has automatically been inputted, or the beginning of the information has already been loaded into what is my Form Simplicity, which is a very cool benefit that you can do. You can review that information, right? So it's added my property information, including bedrooms, baths, association fees, my listing information, the listing price. I can input my sales info. I can input my buyer info if I'd like, but it does populate quite a lot of that information. So I can save it to a transaction towards the bottom. Okay, and then I would begin that transaction inside of Form Simplicity. So if you already have a transaction, you can input that information unless it's a new one. So you would select your property type, residential, transaction name, okay, transaction type, purchase, and then save to new transaction. And then we already have the beginning of that transaction, which is a very cool thing that you can do. Okay, so that is another system or another function that MLS Advantage has for you. Clicking outside of Form Simplicity, you also have, aside from search that we're very aware of, you have your reporting, right? So you have all of your reports available here. I'm going to remove them. I did the stuff that I wanted to with them. Aside from my reporting, I can start a new search from reports. So if I'm already in that mindset that I want to create a report, I can start a new search right from a reporting. You also have your customers, and inside of your customers, I've added one. So whenever you work with a customer, my suggestion, especially in a new program, is to add customers. So how you would add one is to click on Add New Customer, right? And you can add all of their information. You can be as detailed as you want. Things that do have to be inputted though are your first name, your last name. You want to add a cell phone number. You also want to add that email address. Select their preferred contact. You can add their address. You also have additional information that you can input. For example, what's the best time to contact? Morning, afternoon, or evening? Okay, their planned activity. Do they want to buy, sell, or both? When is it that they're planning to do this? In a month, in 2 or 3 months, the language that they prefer, right? And any additional notes that you want to write about your customer, then you would simply save that information. Regarding all of your customers, you can always edit that information. So if they change their email, they updated their cell phone number, etc., you can click back to edit. You can view up to 100 customers at once. You can always sort your customers by last name, first name, email address. These are your customers. Aside from your customers, I don't have any listings, but under my listings, it will show you all of the listings that have been syndicated, which should be all of your listings. They'll syndicate right over here into MLS Advantage. You can also create a CMA. So under CMA, you can go ahead and create one, starting with clicking on New CMA. Aside from that, you do have help. So you want to be available or you want to have access to help, right? So they do a really good job of breaking down their information in a way that's really easy to find. So you can find report help, customer help, listing help, CMA help, account help. And then you have their tech hotline, super nice people, English and Spanish speakers. You have your cell phone number, you can chat or you can email with them. Then they break down your help into small videos that are available here. And then of course your search help that they go ahead and give you a drop down of very simple instructions that can help you navigate the program. You also have frequently asked questions that are available as well. Moving along from help, you will have your account help, right? And that's going to have that video. I did want to point out that under training, right? And I saw this yesterday. You have the ability to click on training. So training is going to give you kind of like a synopsis of what we went over today, but the first 5 minutes are so important. After this class, take 5 minutes, watch the training only because the legal department goes ahead and they give you information about MLS Advantage and how to make sure that you're doing everything correctly. So if the Florida Legal Hotline took, took the opportunity and made sure that they went ahead and added that very important information to this training video, I would take, it's 5 minutes. So before you do anything, I know there's so much you can do in this system, but before you do anything, watch that first 5 minutes and just legally see where you're standing, see the information and the tips that they give you to make sure that everything that you're doing, you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Another option for you after this class, they do have a CMA help tutorial that you can preview. So if you want to deep dive inside of that help tutorial, you can go ahead and do so. But basically, that is what I have for you inside of MLS Advantage. If you guys have any questions, we did go over quite a lot today. We went over our search fields. We went over our map searches. We discussed our different hot sheets and our saved searches. Again, to remind you, under your saved searches, that's where you find your auto emails, right? And where you can go ahead and delete your searches, rerun them, and edit them. We also talked about incorporating or being able to syndicate a listing, right, into Form Simplicity, which was very cool. And then I think we wrapped up with our contacts. So again, if you have any questions, I'm available. You can watch these tutorials at your own leisure. Inside of your Miami Gateway, you have available for you your Miami Realtors live icon, right? So the education department and your trainers have inputted into that system. Different trainings are available for you. And we do have MLS Advantage training that's available inside of Miami Realtors Live. If you are a YouTube channel user, we have a channel for you. It's youtube.com/miamitrainers. This is at no cost to you. We have currently more than 4,500 subscribers. They're primarily agents. We do have a playlist that's available for you where you can find all of the different subjects, right? So you have all of the different trainings that are available for you, and what's included will also include MLS Advantage. You want to search here on the side, MLS Advantage. Okay, and then you'll have privy to MLS Advantage, statewide, and statewide searching. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a Miami member. I hope that you can use MLS Advantage and you like it, and that I gave you some good ideas. You do have your links, right? So to email us, it's trainers@miamire.com. Follow our social media. Our stuff is your stuff. Feel free to promote it or use it as your own. So have a beautiful day, guys.